welcome back to my channel. It's day 12. I've managed to stay clean since my slip off on day 8. The mental health team finally came out to see me. I'm back at my parents' house, so we're back to the black background, and I found my mask, yay! I still feel very depressed, but the mental health team finally came out to see me, and I am now under the care of someone in the home treatment team who is trying to get me back under the general mental health team, who are still trying to discharge me despite how bad my mental health has been lately. I feel recovered physically from my trip to the hospital. Apparently I did overdose. I don't think I was intentionally trying to take my own life, but maybe subconsciously I was. I was very drunk again, and I just took all my medication. I just didn't want to be here anymore, and I'm sick of putting my family through it. There is an atmosphere at my parents'. I tried to speak to my dad about it to break the ice, but he just said let's not talk about it now. I feel really bad for putting my family through all this, and if you do have a family member who's suffering with mental health, especially at an older age as opposed to a teenager, please know that it's not their fault, and mental health isn't just a teenage drama that happens when you're 15. Mental health can sadly be something that affects you your entire life, and it can affect anybody at any age. So don't blame them or tell them to grow up, because mental health is not just a teenage drama that goes away untreated. So the best way you can support somebody who is having an episode with their mental health is by believing them and asking for treatment, for help from the doctors or the mental health team. And if you treat it when they're suffering with it, hopefully it won't turn into something they suffer with forever. From a physical standpoint, I feel okay today. I've had my medications the way I'm supposed to, not too much, not too little, and I had a shower and got dressed, and that was enough for me today, I think. In terms of ways to stay motivated while quitting drugs, planning a routine as simple as waking up, getting out of bed, having a wash and getting dressed, that can be enough for some days, and that feels like enough for me today. I'm going to work on some music. That's one of my hobbies. And it's going to be very depressing and sad music, but it's better than doing nothing. And I am really trying this time. I want this to be over, and I want to be happier and stronger, and want to start making videos I wanted to make this channel about, including mental health videos and videos of how to help survivors of different abuse, survivors of child sex abuse. I wanted to make videos to help people with eating disorders, helping overcoming trauma and emotional pain. Not only would it hopefully help people, but it will give me something to work on all day, something I can be proud of. I think with quitting any addiction, you need to be keeping busy. You need to have something to do that's positive, that gives you a purpose and a reason to keep going. Because even though life's really hard and can be really shit at times, it always eventually brings good periods of time, and those good periods and good memories are worth the bad, and that's why it's worth fighting to be here. It's a very exciting day today because I got my first subscriber, so a massive thank you and a shout out to Heroin. I hope I pronounced your name right. I apologise if I probably haven't, but I'm assuming that's you subscribed. Thank you for your lovely comment. It meant a lot, and even though it probably took you 2 seconds to write, it meant the world to me, so thank you so much. My mind's unfortunately quite blank today, so I think this is going to be it for today's video, but I hope everyone's having a good day, and I hope I'm helping somebody. And if you're struggling, ask for help and tell somebody, because maybe they can help. And if you are an addict and you are upsetting your family and friends and hurting people, try not to feel bad for it, because most likely they'll know it's not your fault. And the people who don't understand that it's not your fault, they're not worth your worry. They're not worth your time worrying about, because they don't care about you. It's nearly Christmas, so I'm excited about that, but I'm also very, very stressed about Christmas shopping, because I'm quite short for money because I spunked so much of it doing drugs on my relapses. But it's mainly having to spend time with family and friends and people that you don't really like and you don't bother with, or don't bother with you the rest of the year. And the people I usually spend Christmas with, my one best friend family member is going to be with her partner this year, so I'm going to be on my own with mum and dad, who know about my relapse and struggles, and even though they can't prove or pinpoint what drug it is, I think they know. So it's going to be very awkward, and I just hope no one starts fighting. I think when you have borderline personality disorder like me, it makes small things really, really stressful, and stress just overcompensates us and our brains can't handle it. I think it takes 2 or 3 things that I need to do that I know I can't do, which then becomes shit, I'm a failure, I'm a massive failure, I can't do any of this, what am I going to do, the whole world's going to end. And it can be something as trivial as Christmas shopping. I still haven't been able to do that due to my health problems and my mental health, but I feel so stressed about it, like shit, I'm either going to be in hospital for Christmas with my mental health, or I'm not going to be able to buy anybody any presents because I can't organise it in my brain, and I'm super stressed about that. I'm also stressed because I can't hide my self-harm at the moment. It's got quite severe, and unless I walked around in long sleeves 24/7, even coming out of the shower or sleeping, I'm struggling to hide it, and someone's going to catch on very soon. And I am annoyed at the mental health for not putting me in a hospital or somewhere inpatient because I don't feel safe. I told them I'm not safe and I can't keep myself safe, and still they've never ever put me inpatient, even when I've been in such states in the past. So I just hope that if I do get in that state again, that they'll help me and I'll have somewhere to go that will save my life. And that's all I want, because I don't want to die. I don't want to put that on my family. That's going to be it for now. I will try and check in a little bit, and I hope everyone's doing okay. Thank you for watching. Very quickly, just to follow up on earlier, if you can find an object such as a piece of clothing or jewellery, it could be anything from a hat or ring to a children's toy like a small teddy bear, as long as it's small enough to fit in your pocket or to wear and carry with you. Find an item or object that belongs to somebody that you love or reminds you of a reason that you're quitting. Something that when you look at it, you see that person who you love, who that belongs to, like your children or your siblings or your partner. So your reason to quit. And until you can find your strength again, let that object become your strength. So for me, it's this ring. It's my sister's, and she has fought so much for me to be clean and to get better, and she has stood by my side 24/7. Just until you are strong enough to do it without that item with you, let that be your strength, and I promise it will make it easier, because you are constantly reminded of why you are staying strong, why you are putting yourself through this pain and misery now, because later you are gonna make that person so happy, and you're gonna build back your relationship that I'm sure you've damaged with them whilst struggling with your addiction, and I promise it'll be worth it. So find an object to place your strength and faith in until you are strong enough to believe in yourself. I'm really struggling to sleep, so the voices came back. I've been hearing voices and seeing things. I look at people and then their faces just distort and start saying the most awful, horrendous things to me, and then I blink but their faces go back to normal, so I know it wasn't real. But I see all these faces like these horrible, hideous, most scariest figures you've ever seen, with like black holes for eyes and razor sharp teeth, like any kid's monster, worst nightmare, Slender Man kind of shit, and it's so scary. And even though you think that can't possibly be real, it doesn't make it any less scary. And last time I had a psychotic episode like this, I was listening to what I thought was angels, and I ended up calling them the fake angels, because it was a man, a woman and a child, and at first they felt like a god sent, like a heaven sent, like I was chosen. That sounds so narcissistic now, but it felt like I'd been chosen, as my job to do for the world was to help everybody suffering. So anyone who came to me for mental health or needed help, I had to help them. And then it got too much for me, and I went about 3 days with no sleep because I was looking out for friends. I had 7 friends call me suicidal in one day, and then I started hearing the voices, and I stopped what they were doing. I stopped doing what they had asked me to do. But then as soon as I stopped doing what they wanted to, bad things started happening all around me. I managed to flood my house to the point where I was homeless for a month. I set my parents' house on fire. I was a witness in 2 car crashes and then 2 other police investigations, which were fights and assaults, which happened around me. I managed to get raped as well, really physically severely, and somebody close had a miscarriage. I had 2 friends attempt suicide, 1 succeeded, and all of that happened in the space of 2 weeks that I was ignoring these voices for. And as soon as I started copying what they were saying and listening to them again, all the bad shit stopped happening, but their demands got worse and worse and went from saying I just had to look out for everyone and be there for humanity to stick your arm in the oven, don't eat, it's poison, 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 they're going to kill you, they're trying to kill you, don't talk to anybody. And it was so scary and it was constant. And there was one vision I kept seeing of these two girls that kind of looked like me and my twin as kids, but they were standing completely still, just staring at each other, opposite each other, having a conversation, but they weren't making any sense. They were just saying words back and forth, rainbow, 500, drowning, drowning, dead, jump, bridge, they're trying to kill you, and then singing nursery rhymes, and it was fucking terrifying. And it's like, I looked at them and then they were putting words in my mouth and I was repeating all these random words they were just saying, and my friends came in my room and were like, mate, are you okay? Like, what the fuck? So that I'm just there staring into space saying all these random words, and I'm so scared that that's going to happen again. I'm scared because when I'm in this state and I do finally sleep, I keep waking up from a dream within a dream, and the only way to wake myself up from these horrendous nightmares, once I realise I'm dreaming, is to kill myself in the dream. And then when I do wake up for real, I think that I'm still dreaming. So I'm so worried that I die intentionally without realising, because I'd think, oh, I'm dreaming, I need to kill myself to wake up, I have to do this just to wake up, and then I'll wake up and be 12 again and it'll all be happy days. Or I'll wake up at a different point in my life. And it's so scary. I have to keep reminding myself who I am, where I am, what year it is, what day it is. And it's really scary and I need help. I don't think I'll be allowed my phone if I do go into hospital, because I am a self-harmer and it has been happening recently. So I can't imagine them letting me have many privileges, but at least friends will be able to visit me in there. And I might get some therapy or some treatment or some proper meds, because mine obviously aren't working, and I won't have to do it by myself. So I feel this massive pressure on my shoulders, like an elephant standing on me 24/7, to stay alive and not kill myself despite being in so much emotional pain. And I think that's how depression works. It's like you can see everybody else swimming around you, but you're drowning whilst you watch everyone else being fun, and you're looking at them thinking, how are you okay with this? How can you not see this darkness and all this shit? Like, how are you still living? What's the point? There's nothing. What's the point? I feel such a pressure to not kill myself, and the fear of being selfish and hurting others should not be the reason that you don't kill yourself. The reason you don't kill yourself should be because you're happy and you want to live life. And I find calling suicide victims selfish is such a horrible thing that we need to change in society. But then in a second opinion, it's the thing that stops most people doing it. So if I didn't have a family, I would have been gone years ago. It would be so easy and I wouldn't be in pain anymore. And it's sad. I remember the first time feeling suicidal, properly suicidal, wanting to die. I was 9. I was already suffering with addiction, self-harm. Sorry, the self-harm didn't start till 11. I was being sexually abused, bullied horrifically, anorexia and bulimia. I was suffering horribly and I just was in so much pain. I thought about hanging myself at school. Then one night I remember our family was watching the news and someone had committed suicide, and I remember my older sister saying, that's so selfish, how can you do that to your family? Look at all the people you're leaving behind. And at 9 years old I vowed then that I would never do that, because I could not do that to my family and I have to stay strong and stay alive for them. But since then I've wished so many times that I was alone, that no one cared about me, so that I could end it and not be in pain. Because I know people care about me and I know I'm loved. And that's hard, because it puts this pressure on you that wants you to live up to the expectations that you create by those around you, because they see so much in you. And it's hard when you're depressed because you feel like you can't live up to any of those expectations. And anytime someone compliments you or says you're amazing, you're so talented, you've got so much potential, it just makes you feel guilty, because you know you can't reach those things. You know that you're not. You don't understand why everybody sees you as this competent, amazing being, because you just feel like a piece of shit. I don't know if it comes with knowing too much or understanding the world in a way that's more than the regular everyday ego. But whatever the reason is, I'm struggling and it's really hard to stay here. I'm trying really hard not to do anything stupid, and I am going to go into hospital. I really need it. And I hope my family can forgive me later on for going into hospital, especially if I end up being there for Christmas Day. But I really need it, and I will keep you all updated. I hope everyone's having a good day. If you're feeling depressed, suicidal, or suffering with anything I've talked about, please go and seek help. You're better than this and you can do it. I just wish I could follow my own advice. Maybe one day. Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's day 14, so really big day today. I know I've relapsed on day 8, but it's 2 weeks in, and 1 relapse in 2 weeks is really not bad for me. I'm feeling okay. The mental health team didn't come out like they said they were going to, but I had a dietitian appointment today for my stomach condition. They're concerned about the fact that I can't eat at all, and I mainly just live off water shakes now. But at least they're looking into treating me and keeping me under them so that at least somebody is monitoring my health problems. I am going out with a friend today. We were going to go to my appointment, but they changed it to a telephone appointment from in person, so I think we're going to do a bit of Christmas shopping just for something to do. I'm feeling a bit less down today, which is good. I know my parents are worried about me, but they've gone away for a week now, and something really big happened that may have seemed small, but when I gave my mum a hug goodbye, she gave me a hug and said, make sure you stay sober and clean. And then she kind of paused like, oh shit, I've said the wrong thing, she's going to kick off. Because usually I kick off as I'm in denial and embarrassed about the fact. But today I didn't, and I said, yeah, I will. I'll stay sober and clean. And we just kind of locked eyes, and it was like her acknowledging, yes, I know you're on drugs, but it's okay, and we know you're quitting. And it was me acknowledging that, yeah, I know I've had a problem, but I'm sober now and I'm clean now. And it was just such a big thing, and it made me feel like I have their support and they're not mad at me for it. So that was a really big thing for today. My friend is here now, so I'm going to have to go, but I will check in later, and I hope everyone's having a good day.